Now the next topic, I will be taking few topics which may appear disconnected, but I will connect it later. Now one of the important concept is dynamically equivalent systems. But before discussing about dynamically equivalent system, we should know philosophically what are equivalent system. When you say something A and something B are equivalent, A is something, B is another thing. When you say they are equivalent, when you say two things are equivalent, so the weekend you are traveling to your hometown, you have booked a ticket in the train, you have got in a lower berth in S4 coach, your friend got a lower berth in the S5 coach. Are they equivalent or not? Is it going to differ in the experience or time? You have a lower berth, other person also has a lower berth, but the coaches are different. Or in the same coach also you can have two lower berths. In that case, if there is a possibility of exchanging the ticket, by exchanging the ticket will you get any benefit? No. So you can say both are equal. But in the same train, one of you has a second AC ticket, other one has the sleeper class ticket. Will you exchange it? No. You want to travel from here to Chennai, the different modes are there. You can go by car, you can go by train, or you are crazy enough you can go by air. The half an hour travel, check-in time 2 hours. After the check-out is also another half an hour. So, can you say traveling by all these things are equal? From reaching from here, Trichy to Chennai by different modes, are they equal? No. Then when you say that they are equal, you have a bank account in State Bank. You can have the bank account in Canara Bank. Are they equal or not? Savings bank account. Savings bank account in Canara Bank and State Bank of India, are they equal or different? Are they equal? Because they are going to offer the same net banking facility. This fellow also will offer the same interest rate. When they offer same facilities of operation, same interest rate, they are equal. Unless one of the bank goes bust, which nobody can predict right now. So when you say two systems are equivalent, there is a philosophical thing, then only you can say it is equivalent. Your seat in mechanical engineering NIT and production engineering NIT are not equivalent. Metallurgy in NIT is not equivalent. Or mechanical here in NIT or mechanical in a Karaikal are definitely not equivalent. So, but getting a seat here, whether your seat or your friend's seat in mechanical engineering, same section is same. So, you can say two systems are equivalent by looking at something you give some inputs and you have some output. If they are same for both A and B, you can say it is equivalent. Traveling by train, sleeper class, lower berth, in the same coach or different coach are equivalent because the travel time is same, the money spent is same, the comfort level is same, then you can say it is same. So for the money what you have paid, the outputs are also same, you can say it is same. So State Bank saving bank's account or any other bank's account, if they are giving the same interest rate and same operational benefit, they are the same. So you can say two things are equivalent if you have the whatever you are giving in and what is the output you are getting. If they are same, you can say they are equal. So after getting a degree here, you are getting a job in say Maruti. A person who studied in a self-financing college also gets the same post in Maruti. Then you can say the effect are same. So you can say whatever you obtained the degree and that person, as per the effect is concerned, the last thing is it is same. So equivalent systems are the one which for the given input it produces the same output. You can say they are equivalent. But here we are talking about the dynamically equivalent system. When you can say two things are dynamically equivalent. So come back to this. For a given input, it should produce same output. That is the dynamically equivalent system. Suppose I take some awkward looking rigid body and I have a nice looking model to this. These two are to be dynamically equivalent. For a given input, it should produce the same output. So in dynamic system, what is the input? What is the output? So forces. If you apply force to either of the bodies, it should produce, if it produces the same acceleration, they are equivalent. For example, in translation, forget about other things. If you are looking at only translation aspect, 1 kg of steel applied by 1 kg force will produce same acceleration of 1 kg of cotton. Right? 1 kg of lead or 1 kg of gold applied by 1 kg force, 1 kg or 1 Newton force will produce the same acceleration. Then all are equal. 1 kg of cotton or 1 kg of this thing, dynamically they are equivalent because for a given force it produces the same acceleration. But you know that if I apply a force here to this body, a rigid body, if I know the mass of this, F is equal to ma, I can find out what is the acceleration. A is equal to F by m. Fine. So if the mass of this is also same, this is then you can say these two are dynamically equivalent as per the translation is concerned. But you know another thing, if the point of application of force, does it matter or not? It matters because if I apply the force through the center of gravity, it will only suffer translation. But if the force is applied elsewhere, that is away from the center of gravity, what will happen is it will translate as well as it will rotate. So the effect is, for a given force, through the center of gravity it produces only translation, but it's away it produces translation and rotation. So this, if it is to be equivalent to this, then its center of gravity also should be same. So with a single mass concept it is not possible. So what we do is we think of two masses. They are connected like this. Then if their center of gravity and this center of gravity is same, then it will produce the same effect, in the sense that if I give the force through the center of gravity, for this also through the center of gravity. If it is slightly away from it, same farther distance it will be away. It will be producing same effect. So if a force is applied on this, it should produce same linear acceleration. That is one point. So therefore, if two systems are to be dynamically equivalent, their masses should be same. So we can say that first condition is that m1 plus m2 should be equal to m. Then only it will produce the same linear acceleration for a given force. Then second condition is the center of gravity should be same. So if I take this distance as h1 and this distance as h2, m1 h1 is should be equal to m2 h2. Then only the center of gravity will be the same at this point. Then the third condition is that when it is displaced away from it, there will be a force acting through it and there will be a torque. For the torque, it should produce the same angular acceleration. So for a dynamic system, the outputs are linear acceleration and the angular acceleration. The inputs are the force and the torque or anything. Should produce the same linear acceleration and angular acceleration. If you produce the same angular acceleration, the moment of inertia through the center of gravity for the both bodies should be same. So the third point is m1 h1 square plus m2 h2 square. Because this is a concentrated mass, the radius of gyration can be just the distance from there. So m1 h1 square plus m2 h2 square is equal to mk square. If these three conditions are met, then both the bodies will produce for a given force same linear and angular acceleration. Therefore, they will be equivalent. Now, I have just drawn a line here. These are the two concentrated masses. They are connected by some way. So, it should be connected by a massless infinitely stiff material. So it is made of a material, this is made of a material called unobtainium 206. To dynamically model an equivalent system with two simple balls, it should be connected by a massless infinitely stiff material which can be with the property, which material has such a property? Is the unaptemium 206. What is unaptenium? Is a fictitious material used in fictions. Suppose I want a material which will have zero mass, and it should have a infinite thermal conductivity. Then you can say it can be obtained by a material like this. So it is in fiction, if you want to depict a material which is having the ideal qualities, it can be stated by unaptemium. Basically, unobtainable material. So interestingly, this is the name which is given for the material which will have a superconductivity at the room temperature to solve the energy problem of Earth. So there is a movie by James Cameron called Avatar. I think most of you would have seen the movie. So human race goes to a planet called Pandora to obtain this material. That material, name of the material is unaptemium, which is supposed to have this fictitious properties of superconductivity at room temperatures. So Norton also in his book, when he writes about the dynamically equivalent system, he writes that this is connected by a material made of unaptemium 206. Okay, so this is an imaginary thing. Now you are clear about this, how these three equations has come. One is for the linear acceleration. For a given force, the linear acceleration must be same, so mass must be same. The point of application is critical, the center of gravity should be same, that's why this has come. Then for a given torque, the angular acceleration must be same, so the moment of inertia of these two must be same. If these three conditions are met, you can say, you can model a rigid body like this into an equivalent this thing. So in your lab exercise, you are asked to find out the dynamically equivalent system for this connecting rod. Okay, so you have to find out these distances and the masses. If you assume one of the mass, you can find out the other two. But we will go little more steps on this calculation to find out something, some property, the relationship of K and H1, H2. So this equation, I will substitute this equation here. Write like this, M1, H1. Instead of H1, I will write it as M2, H2 by M1 plus this M2, H2. Instead of another H2, I will write M1, H1 divided by M2. That is equal to MK square. So this M1 will go away, this can be cancelled. So you have M2, H1, H2, M2 plus H1, H2, M1, that is equal to MK square. So I can take H1, H2 out, M1 plus M2, I think here is M1, M2, okay. That is equal to MK square. So M1, M2 is nothing but, it is M. So this can be cancelled. So you have K square is H1, H2. K square, that is the radius of gyration square is equal to the product of the distance at which the two masses are placed. So why this is required? I will keep it in this form. This particular step of reaching this, we have done, did this in maybe 2-3 steps. In some of the Indian author books, this steps takes, this particular stage takes 20 steps. They substitute, resubstitute like that. So this simplified form of substitution to get this one, I attribute to Professor Sudhakar. Because when we were discussing, he brought this very simple form. So many steps can be eliminated. Okay, so this is the discussion about dynamically equivalent system. We are going to use it later on, but this is a concept. So we discussed about what is an equivalent system in first place, what is a dynamically equivalent system, what are the conditions, then we have brought in this particular form. Now for this day I will take one more topic and stop. So that topic also may look disjointed or unconnected, but later on we will connect it. So that is center of percussion. The term percussion relates to the impact. You know that you have percussion musical instruments. The mridangam is a percussion musical instrument, so where we impart force. So there is a concept called the center of percussion. What is the center of percussion? It is a point on a body which, when stuck with a force, will have associated with it another point called center of percussion, center of oscillation. There will be zero reaction. So what is that statement? Say if suppose I have a body like this, I can apply a force here, here, here or anywhere. When I apply a force, say this is my point of suspension. If I choose a point and apply a force, then there will be zero reaction here. Okay? So that point is called the center of percussion and center of oscillation. They are pairs. So the center of percussion and the center of oscillation are pairs. So if you apply a force on center of percussion, center of oscillation will have zero reaction. If you reverse it, they will reverse their position. So what is that? Center of percussion is also called sweet spot. In case of a cricket bat or a golf or a shuttle bat, you have some place called a sweet spot. If you hit it, you will not have any reaction. It's so easy for you to handle the bat. Okay? So what is that? That is a center of percussion. What is this? We will first derive the equation for that. You take a hockey stick, the center of the hockey stick is, say, center of gravity is this. To remove the friction, effects of friction, I keep this hockey stick on ice floor. You know, it is not uncommon in Western countries to have a ice hockey. Ice hockey is played on a ice floor, so it is so smooth, so the friction is very, very minimal. So I put a hockey stick on the ice floor and I apply a force here, somewhere away from the center of gravity. So this distance I call it as h1. Now what kind of a motion this hockey stick will undergo? Because this is not subjected to force through the center of gravity, it will undergo both translation and angular acceleration. Both the translation and rotation it will undergo. So I am trying to find out the acceleration of each point due to translation. So every point on this hockey stick will undergo a translatory acceleration, which is A, which is given by F by m. I am talking about every point. Every point will undergo same acceleration, that given by F by m. Now look at the acceleration undergone by each point due to the angular acceleration. So angular acceleration, if you take a point on this, suppose this is the point, depending on the distance, the angular acceleration or alpha, depending on the distance in the alpha, will give you the acceleration of a point. So that will vary linearly with the distance. So since it is going to rotate like this, you will have here the acceleration is reversed because it is rotating like this about this CG. So for any point, if you want to find out the acceleration, that is given by this distance into alpha. So this is the effect of acceleration due to the translation. This is the effect of acceleration due to the rotation, but they are not happening in isolation. Both are happening simultaneously. So I have to superimpose both the acceleration diagram. So that is what I am going to do. I will superimpose this here like this. Here you see that linear acceleration and angular acceleration are added together. In this part they cancel. So there you can find out one particular point where the net acceleration is 0. That point will not have any acceleration, but means that will not experience any reaction. So when you hit it here, you can find out a point which suffers 0 acceleration, that is called the center of percussion. Okay, so this will be your sweet spot and you can put your handle here. So how to find out this? Suppose I take this part as h2. I can write the equation that the acceleration, linear acceleration A is equal to the angular acceleration, acceleration due to the rotation. So here A is equal to F by m. the distance r is h2, then alpha is T by I. This I is through the center of gravity, because now it is rotating about center of gravity. So this I can write it as h2 into torque is nothing but F into h1 divided by IgG, that is m into kcg square. This is F by m. Here you can find that F by m is on the both sides, which can be cancelled. So what you will have is h2 h1 by kcg square is equal to 1. So in other words, kcg square is equal to h1 into h2. So this is something, this is about the concept of center of gravity. I have a body, apply a force, I find a complementary point which is called center of percussion, which experience zero reaction. So the equation is the radius of gyration of this through the CG is equal to h1 and h2. That is the distance where the force is applied, and that is where the other distance is where the center of percussion lies. Here coming here, the dynamically equivalent system, same equation, k square is equal to h1 and h2. So in a dynamically system, what it means is that here, this is m1, m2, this is h1, h2. So if you take a center of gravity of the reference point, the dynamically equivalent system will have masses, one at the center of oscillation, another at the center of percussion. Okay, so that is what here it means. So what is its relation? I want to model a dynamically equivalent system. I have to place the two masses where I should keep. I can keep it at a point. So one of them will be my center of percussion, another will be center of oscillation. Okay, so that is a concept. So when you hit it, you will not get any reaction. You can get a beautiful videos that are implemented in your lab video session, where they take one baseball bat and hit it. So when they hit it at a different place, it breaks, but when you hit it a sweet spot, it simply rotates. There is no reaction. Okay, so that you can feel in that. Okay, we stop with that.